You've done everything right. You've worked hard, prepared thoroughly, given your absolute best, and still, it didn't work out. So you spiral, you rage, you ask why 1,000 times. You exhaust yourself trying to control what was never yours to control in the first place. But what if there's a different way? Welcome to Morals in Tales. This is the story of the archer's target. In ancient times, there was a young man training to become a master archer. He practiced every day. His technique was flawless, his focus was complete, his dedication was absolute. One day, his teacher announced a competition. The best archers from across the land would gather to compete for a great honor. The young man trained even harder. He visualized victory. He imagined the cheers of the crowd. He saw himself standing victorious, the champion. The day of the competition arrived. He stepped to the line, drew his bow. The target stood far in the distance. He took a breath, released the arrow. It flew straight and true, perfect form, perfect release. But just as the arrow approached the target, a sudden gust of wind blew. The arrow veered off course. It missed the center by inches. The young man was devastated. He approached his teacher afterward, distraught. "Master, I did everything right. I trained, I focused, I executed perfectly. But the wind, it ruined everything. It's not fair." The teacher calmly nodded. "Tell me," he said, "what did you control in that moment?" The student was confused. "I controlled my stance, my breath, my aim, my release, everything." "And the wind?" asked the teacher. I had no control over the wind." "Exactly," the teacher said. "And yet, you are suffering because of something you never controlled in the first place." He placed a hand on his student's shoulder. "You were perfect in what you could control, but you attached your peace to something outside your control, the outcome, the wind, the final result." He paused, letting the lesson sink in. "A true archer," the teacher continued, "does not aim at the target. He aims to shoot perfectly. The arrow's flight is his to control. Where it lands is not." "But what's the point of shooting if I can't control where it lands?" asked the student, frustrated. The teacher smiled. "The point is this. Your job is to do your part with excellence, to draw the bow correctly, to aim truly, to release cleanly. That is your domain. That is your power. Whether you win or lose, that depends on 1,000 factors beyond you. The wind, the judges, your competitors, fate itself. If you attach your peace to the outcome, you give your power away to things you cannot control. But if you attach your peace to the process, to doing your part with integrity, then no wind can take that from you." The student stood in silence, processing this wisdom. "So I should not care about winning?" he finally asked. "You should care about shooting well," the teacher replied. "Winning may follow, it may not, but that was never yours to control. What is yours is this: your effort, your character, your integrity in the attempt. Control that, and you will have peace, win or lose." This is the central teaching of Stoic philosophy. Life is divided into two domains: what you control and what you don't. You control your effort, not the outcome. You control your attitude, not others' reactions. You control your character, not your circumstances. You control how you respond, not what happens to you. The Stoics taught that wisdom is knowing the difference, and peace is accepting it. Most people do the opposite. They neglect what they control, their effort, their character, and obsess over what they don't, results, recognition, other people's opinions. They give a mediocre effort, then rage when it doesn't produce excellent results. They act without integrity, then feel victimized when things go wrong. They tie their happiness to outcomes, promotions, relationships, success, and then suffer when those outcomes don't arrive on schedule. But here's what the Stoics understood. You can shoot a perfect arrow and still miss the target. You can do everything right and still fail. And that's okay, because your job was never to control the wind. Your job was to shoot well. So ask yourself, what are you suffering over that you never controlled? Are you raging at the wind while ignoring your form? Are you sacrificing your peace over outcomes you cannot guarantee? Because here's the liberating truth. When you focus only on what you control, your effort, your integrity, your response, you become unshakable. The wind can blow, the target can move, the world can be unfair, and you will still have peace because you did your part, and that was always enough. The moral of this tale? Control what you can, release what you cannot, find peace in the difference. If this story freed you from something you've been struggling to control, it's worth sharing. Subscribe to Morals and Tales for more wisdom stories every Monday and Thursday. What are you ready to release control of? What will you focus on instead? Share your shift in the comments. Until the next tale.